What's up YouTube? XAGucho23 here, and I'm back with this another video. I hope everybody's having a good Sunday afternoon. I wanted to make this video so I could talk more about my 90s past, and basically I wanted to talk about my second favorite cartoon channel that I stumbled in the 90s, and it was Nickelodeon. Like I said, I stumbled upon this channel, like I said, around like 94 or 95. And at the time, it was kind of hard to watch Nickelodeon at that time because Cartoon Network was the #1 cartoon during that time. But like I said, when it came to Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network at the same time, I used to remember flip-flopping between both the channels at the time, because there could be sometimes when Cartoon Network don't have a show that I don't feel like watching, I'll flip over to Nickelodeon. And I remember stumbling upon a show that got me to like Nickelodeon at the time. It was Doug. And I remember watching Doug Funny, the show, because I remember when he did the when you know how they do the intro for the show. I really did love the intro. It was a really good intro, and I continued to watch Doug. I was like, wow, this show is pretty good. And the more and more I watched, I started to like it. My favorite character in the show was Skeeter, which I don't know why his skin color was blue at that time, but I don't know what's wrong with the creator. We all know Skeeter was supposed to be black, but I don't know why they gave him skin color blue. But anyway, yeah, I continued to watch Doug up until when the show ended. Then I continued on to watch more Nickelodeon, and they had Rugrats at the time. Rugrats came on, and I continued to watch Rugrats as well, and I was like, wow, this is a pretty good show. You know, even though it's supposed to be a baby show, but at the end of the day, though, they were really smart. And then I know for Rugrats, they had a sequel where they all grown up, but that didn't run so well either. There were other shows that was actually on Nickelodeon that I liked during the 90s as well. Was Hey Arnold. I was a big fan of Hey Arnold. I remember watching the show too when he first started it, up to the movie, man. Like I said, Hey Arnold and Gerald are two of my favorite characters, because I like Arnold because what Arnold does is that he's trying to help out his friends, and then you got Gerald, who is the cool guy, who also he's like a really brother to Arnold. You know, I remember seeing one episode where they both were fighting. I think they were selling flowers. Did the flower episode where they thought they could both could split and do the things the separate way, but it didn't turn out well. And at the end of the episode, they both got together. And like I said, I love Hey Arnold growing up as well. It was a good show. It was sad to see the show council ending, but like I said, they made a movie later on, and Arnold finds out about his family. Like I said, there's also other good shows that I also like on the Nickelodeon as well. Was Cat Dog. Cat Dog was a pretty good show. I don't remember much from the show. This also was Rocky Martin's Life. That was a pretty good show as well. Kenan and Kel was also was a very good sitcom show as well. You know, and the thing though about Nickelodeon as well is that Nickelodeon at the time mixed cartoons with reality at the time. Back then, reality was one of the best things at that time. You know what I mean? But yeah, I used to love watching Kenan and Kel during the time. It's Kenan, and then he loved his what's it, Orange Soda? Is that great? So it was one of, I can't really remember, but I think it was Orange Soda at the time. But that show was pretty good as well. There was also more shows at the time. There was the Wild Thornberrys. It was more or less like an adventure show. I wasn't really big on it, but it was okay. There was also the Angry Beavers. That show was pretty good as well. There's also SpongeBob, which SpongeBob started in the 1990s, and that show is still completely going. There's also Kablat. There's also Rocket Power, which Rocket Power was my shit, man. I love that show. Twister was my favorite guy, man. I just loved Twister. He was just the funniest character of the show. Otto's sister was a bitch. I have to say it. I'm sorry, but she was a bitch. But Otto, he was his self-center. It was always about him. But yeah, man. Rocket Power was a very, very good show, and I really did love that show a lot. There's also other shows that I was on. The Amanda Show. I wasn't really much of a fan of that show that much either. I'm trying to remember more that was on this show, on this channel. There was Blue's Clues. I used to remember watching Blue's Clues as well. That show was pretty good, man. I just like to watch the guy always does his little dancing, and Blue's Clues is always talking. And I thought it was pretty funny, man. It was a pretty funny show. But yeah, man. Nickelodeon there's still more. There's Ren and Stimpy. There's Real Monsters. Like I said, I didn't really get to watch much of Ren and Stimpy because at the time Ren and Stimpy was more like a adult cartoon at that time. But yeah, man, Nickelodeon was a very good channel during the 90s, and I felt like up into 2004, I felt like Nickelodeon started to go down a little bit because I felt like now they started to, like I said, they started to divide from their cartoons, and they started just to go all reality now, all reality shows. That's all you see on Nickelodeon. It's just all reality. But they did made a program called Splat, which there's a cartoon block that they will play 90s cartoons, but they need to add more of that. You know what I mean? Because I remember watching the Splat, and they used to always just replay Hey Arnold, you know, and what was it? Hey Arnold, and I can't remember, but that's all they used to just replay was Hey Arnold, and they needed to play more of the old 90s cartoons. But yeah, man, Nickelodeon was a very good channel. Like I said, I stumbled upon the channel in 1994, 1995, and like I said, I really did love this channel a lot, but I haven't watched Nickelodeon in a while now, so I don't know what they have on the channel now. But what I saw when Nickelodeon started to go down, I started to see a lot of reality shows, and no cartoons, and I was like, hey, yeah, I can't watch Nickelodeon anymore. But yeah, man, Nickelodeon was my second favorite channel, and like I say, all the 90s cartoons that I watched were pretty damn good. You guys tell me what you think. I have more of my 90s stories I would like to share with you. Stay tuned, and I'll have a good Sunday afternoon.